rock a Lolo. Draped in the flyest logos, pockets swole, bro. Attract the finest of divine feminine cocoa. Try to keep a humble approach, better than most though. Too cold for hell and I know heaven a no-go. Reminiscing of demons like a devil in Rojo. But still I rise like the primordial Ocho, you know. And it's like that since the beginning of time. I was a winner who shine on a ridiculous grind, keeping my business in line. All of this shit is divine, homie. I hope you could stand the rain, no misdemean. Hit the homie T-Red for exquisite green, riding down Fairfax, Bentley, no limousine. Thoughts about make it in the dying, I was in between. My higher self intervened.
His higher self intervenes. How y'all doing this evening? What's up? This is AMPspire Interviews, and I am your host, Plum Queen. I'm excited. My brother is in the building. Jamar, Milton, say what's up.
Peace. How we doing? Uncle Mayat.
Uncle Mayat. I'm excited. I haven't spoken to you in a minute. It's about to be a whole movie tonight.
You already know. How we do it. Let's go.
Well, I haven't interviewed you since 2019. That is a whole 3 years, so it is so much we need to talk about. All right. But I kind of been, updating my, my profile and getting some new viewers. So I want them to, to express yourself and tell them who you are. You know what I'm saying? Kind of how we met and how all this started, how all this Jamarness, started. So
Jamarness. She's coined the new phrase.
Man. Where do I begin?
The stoop.
All right.
Help you out.
The stoop, man. The stoop. That's where it all began. Just a young guy reevaluating life, and the things that we've been taught over the course of our lives that has altered our perspectives. And challenging them, not just challenging them, wanting to know more about them. And then that led to certain challenges, I should say. I think that the stoop represented grassroots level thought processes. It represented a diamond in the rough, rose in concrete. It represented a lot of people who have gone through that stage of an awakening, and you're beginning to now act on it, and apply it to your everyday life as opposed to just thinking about it. I wanted to connect with people that were like-minded. I wanted to have a place for them to go to as well. You need a village, and I think that that's what the stoop represented. It represented people on the bottom, with no resources in terms of spirituality and true genuine knowledge, so I think I gravitated to a lot of people that were in that same predicament where, it's just you and your thoughts, and you might be the only one thinking this way, but, believe in your genius, believe in your ability to be able to research and prove something, whatever that is, and some of it was shocking and life altering changes. It wasn't just about religion as some may see it. It's more so about any construct that you have that forces you into a system that is not 100% conducive to who you are as an individual, versus always being with a flock, versus always being a follower. What makes you unique? Considering none of us have even the same fingerprint. So we're all unique in our own way. So with that being said, how does anybody develop a system for me? Something that a mold that I need to fit into. And who's to say there aren't others like me? There has to be. right? So that's what the stoop for me, represented. It's a lot of variables and it's layered, but I understand it completely.
Okay. So the stoop. Now in my journey, the stoop would be the lighthouse. I was searching, you know what I'm saying, for my purpose and what I was supposed to do in this life. And they say when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And that just so happened to be you. So I was looking for like-minded people. I was looking, you know what I'm saying, for my tribe or, folks that were on the same wavelength as me. And that's exactly what the lighthouse, did for me. So how did the stoop turn into the lighthouse?
Well, the lighthouse uh, was not something I even necessarily created at first. It started off with me, just doing what I was doing on Facebook, which is, giving people my peace of mind pretty much and different lessons that I have been picking up life and it would lead me towards Egypt. Um, but it was one particular live that I had done with Nature Boy, and I was talking about solar panels, and a young lady by the name of Latifah Foster had watched the video and was moved by the video to a point where she felt like she wanted to mobilize my following because by then I think I had, I don't know, maybe 9,000 followers or something like that. Um, and, we should start doing something, collectively because people were starting to develop relationships on the internet through my lives. People started connecting with one another. So we said, we should take all this energy that we got right now. It's just a lot of love in the building. It's just so much love. So we should just take this energy and, transmute it, back into our community somehow. So, it started off there, with Latifah bringing the notion. And I said, yeah, let's do it. Let's set it up. Cause she was good at organizing, you know. I said, let's set it up. And, that's how it started initially. It was just a group of like-minded individuals. Um, peace, Scott. Peace, Teresa. I see you. A lot of day ones in the building right now. Um, you know, uh, it started there. You know, that's when we started taking it seriously. Like, let's do this. You know,
Mhm.
and then it wasn't even really that much thought put into it. But then the name, the lighthouse, came by way where somebody had nominated me for a Black Power Award, and brother Dwayne Jordan um, uh, had looked at my Facebook page. He didn't know who I was or what my organization was. We didn't even have a name yet or anything. It was just us, really. And then he was creating the flyers, and he looked at my Facebook page, and on my under my bio it said, "I'm the what did I say?
The bulb of the
I said
lighthouse.
I'm the bulb in the lighthouse because I had saw somebody's meme, and they was like, I'm the dog in the doghouse, right? And then me, I took it and I was like, I'm the bulb in the lighthouse, and
Wow.
I just put that as my caption. I thought it was real clever, and then he put the lighthouse as my organization, and I didn't have no organization in the lighthouse. I was just literally putting just like a quote up, you know what I'm saying, just messing around. And that's how the name, the lighthouse, came because it was on that flyer. And we was like, hey, let's go with it. It sounds dope. So Dwayne Jordan is the one who really essentially named us.
Right. Well,
When you
shout
look
out
at it.
to Latifah and Dwayne Jordan for facilitating all of that, setting that up. Definitely shout out to Latifah, love my sister, and even Dwayne Jordan. What was his product that the olive leaf
Olive leaf
extract?
extract.
Yeah,
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 definitely.
yeah. Shout out to them. I haven't heard from him in a while. Hopefully we'll link up and talk to him about some good stuff.
Yeah, definitely got to tap back in.
Absolutely. Well, it's
Mhm.
interesting when you talk about the lighthouse. As of late, I have gotten a new, I feel, found understanding of what that means, especially what it means in my life. Like I said, I was looking for my purpose and looking for, what I'm saying, what I was supposed to do in my life. And since I found the lighthouse, because what a lighthouse is a beacon, you know what I'm saying, for ships to come to, you know what I mean, to find their direction, get tools,
Right.
whatever it is. And that's exactly what the lighthouse has been for me. It's been my guide to teach me the things that I need to know, put me in the spaces that I need to be in so I can grow into who I'm supposed to be. So I have to give a lot of credit, you know what I'm saying, to the lighthouse for where I am today and who I'm becoming. I really, really appreciate, you know what I'm saying, y'all. You know, I love y'all, you know, y'all my peoples, you know what I'm saying, whatnot. Y'all should absolutely check out all of his videos on YouTube. I call it a DNA explosion. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what I call it. I actually got that from Wapu. When it's almost like you always knew something was there.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you hear that thing or see that thing, it just clicks.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how it was when I saw your first video. Don't even know which one it was, but whatever it is that you said was like, oh shit, that's what that means. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, so everything just started to fall into place. So the lighthouse is definitely, you know, it was named perfectly. Everything was divine because that's exactly what it has been for me. And I'm sure, you know what I'm saying, all the other members can, you know, can attest to the same thing. So
I agree. You know, it's 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 been such a beautiful journey from beginning to till now, and it's like, you know, what we're doing, just seeing how everybody has just grown, and you know, I remember, you know, I remember, and it's just remarkable to see, you know, and that's, to me, that's the best gratification that I get out of the whole ordeal. You know, even if I help just one person, you know, I would have been happy. But to impact so many people like this, never would have thought in my wildest dreams, you know. And you know, I'm forever indebted, you know, to the lighthouse. Like, it's bigger than me. It's way bigger than Jamar Milton. You know what I'm saying? I can only do but so much. You know, this was a group effort of hands-on, boots on the ground, you know, taking care of one another, befriending one another, and holding each other down and fighting for one another and all of that. Like, it was this has been a real life official journey for anybody that's involved, you know, and it's a community, um, it's a family, it's a village, it's all those things, you know. It's entertainment, you know, it's life fulfilling. We go through everything that you could go through in life in the lighthouse. All the ups, downs, ins and outs.
organic facts.
Yeah. And it's all organic. There's no, like, you know, hierarchy other than, you know, our African spiritual concepts that we stand on. However radical they may be. You know, we have a pocket and we know what it looks like at the end of the day. So, you know, I'm proud of the lighthouse. You know,
I'm proud of us too.
one time for the lighthouse.
Ooh,
One time for the lighthouse.
got the lighthouse bracelet popping. Got always
Sure.
had that.
Sure.
Always got to
Yeah,
have
I'm doing my watch cards today. We got power bracelets. Anybody need them?
Oh, we got power bracelets again. Okay, that's good to know. That is definitely good to know.
And it's already been charged.
And they already been charged. Awesome. Yeah, that's like this is like our calling card. You know, our ring, our thing. Like
You can't pull one of these out.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
So silly. All right, now speaking of African spirituality,
And the sacred sciences. Yes.
you are now officially a Kemetic priest.
That's right.
And I would like for you to talk about that. Because, you know, before on the stoop, you know, you was, like I said, talking your shit, you know, getting your knowledge out there. And now you are officially on that path. So what is that like?
It's a learning experience, you know. You know, at the end of the day, the Kemetic priests are simply the keepers of the knowledge. The keepers of the knowledge. And when you start to really study them, you realize that they were ordinary people like you and I who just decided that They essentially wanted to be security guards of what is right, exact, and what will sustain life. And I think a lot of times we misconstrue what is and what is law uh, with what can be altered to our personal being. And some things cannot be altered. The Kemetic priests are the keepers of that intel, and they stand on that intel, no matter who they may be. And they serve for certain different times and seasons. They didn't serve year round. They took time for their families, and then they would come back and serve at the shrines. And they were protectors of the idols that were there, the the statues, and um, the different uh, pieces. They were the keepers of the culture. So I think that a lot of times, and especially in this day and age, many people feel like if you are a Kemetic priest or if you are any person of Kemetic walk or lifestyle, that means you have to look like an old, like guru or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, I think we were supposed to learn from the ancestors and then take that tradition and then push it forward like every tradition does. Expand on it, evolve, you know? I think that the whole point of it was to spread and to uh, be open to all so that we can somehow manifest the idea of an almighty being or what may people call a netter or a deity. Uh, but ultimately, this entity is understandable by our interaction with one another, not by closing off and creating religion and the things that bind us from one another. It was supposed to be something that allowed us to coexist because that's a law. We will coexist regardless of whether we want to or not. We're here,
That's it.
right?
Hmm.
And, you know, there are people who try to change that, but, ultimately the Kemetic priest is supposed to enlighten and let people know what's going on. Um, stay in tune with the universe and all the powers that are in this omniverse, and just be sensitive to it. You know, um, but it starts that those journeys start internally. You know,
Everything starts with
a lot
self.
of yeah, a lot of people think it's about doing this and that, outside, and being benevolent. That's cool, but a lot of the work is an internal journey, and I don't think many people understand that part the way they should. You know,
I wish they would. It'll make
it's
their lives so much easier. They just
yeah.
don't even know it.
So then, when it becomes when it's an internal journey, it changes perspective as to what really matters.
Well, that is definitely something that I can contest that I've learned. You know what I'm saying? A lot about holding myself accountable, understanding that my growth and my healing and all that comes from the inside and not from somebody else.
Right.
Me loving myself, love, all that stuff comes from the inside and expresses itself on the outside.
Facts.
And you know what I'm saying? African spirituality and the Kemetic sciences is absolutely the reason why, you know what I'm saying, I know that to be true. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a Kemetic priestess, but you know what I mean? That's why I walk that path. And I definitely try to encourage people to open their minds You know what I'm saying? Be open minded to things like that because religion is very limiting. Believe what you want to believe in. You know what I'm saying? Give credit to if you want to. But if something's not working for you, you should, be open, open to other things. And yeah, life's been dope since I connected with my ancestors. I can't say nothing else.
Right.
Absolutely. So Kemetic priests, lighthouse, the bulb, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna save that for later. What I have been learning a lot as well, being a part of Lighthouse, is about financial literacy. I
Right.
have been putting that in my mind as things that I've been learning. We've been getting to situations where we can invest. Now you're doing something that I'm very interested in. You know what I'm saying? The artist in me. So you got comedic NFTs popping right now, and that's the new wave. You know what I'm saying? So explain that. Tell us a little bit about that. What's that about? And actually how we can get in on that.
Yeah. So originally it was an experiment, because as being a Chemite, anytime we step into a new space, generally it's a small population of people that's doing it correctly. So I wanted to make sure that when it does pop off, that they get to see the right way to do things, right? Versus always like a just inauthentic representation. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to make sure that we had a good mix of them and not too distasteful, when they're out there, and and just create something that everybody can participate in. Different cultures and different walks of life. But just put a comedic twist to it. So that's the story behind the artwork. And then the NFT space is just another way that you can really make some money, and get integrated, vertically integrated in this new infrastructure of how they move funds around, and pictures representing these funds. The crypto space is something that everybody should know by now. If not, I don't know, I don't know what you're gonna do. The American dollar is not stable. So you have to have some other means of currency that you're at least looking into. And I think that the crypto space is lucrative for everybody. It's very vital. The vitality, is quick. So um, something that if you learn, you really do well for yourself in a very short, significant amount of time. So, the NFT space is definitely something that I want to see the Kemetic people begin to understand, at least, so that we can start bridging that gap, you know, uh, to different forms of currency.
Mhm. Absolutely. I'm an artist, and as an amputee, I kind of want to do the same thing, you know what I'm saying, in the NFT space for amputees, using my image and things of that nature. So I absolutely, be following your blueprint, and I appreciate you allowing me to do that. I learned so much, you know what I'm saying, from you, to get into these things because I grew up not financially literate. I learned business. My mom I ran my mom's business, but she really didn't teach me the background stuff. I can sell a product. I'm from New York. I'm a hustler. I can sell you your drawers back to you, but I didn't learn the background stuff. So the things that I've been learning the past 3 years has really been setting me up so I can have a better future. So again, appreciate, what I'm saying, all those jewels that you drop. And speaking of that, you are, what I'm saying, a serial businessman. So you have other things you got going on.
Um,
Like, yeah,
yeah.
you're in the solar industry. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So the solar industry is very, very lucrative for anyone who's interested. Energy is what I've always been fascinated uh, about. I'm the type that would read the autobiography of Nikola Tesla. And try to understand those blueprints and what he's doing. And stuff like that. So. I've always been fascinated with it, and just being able to harness the energy of the sun, for power, is something that us as a people need to understand. Not just because it's lucrative, but because it's the way of the future as well. You know, eventually, all the stuff that we're fighting for in these wars and things of that nature, all of these things are going to stop. We're not going to be doing fossil fuels for that much longer. We can't sustain that. So, we're moving into spaces where renewable energy is the way of life. Living off of the planet's energy grid that never ends, such as the sun, the wind, the water currents, things of that nature. So, solar is one division of it. That's what I specialize in. And we help people, residential families, get hooked up to solar panels so they can A, lower their electrical rate, and B, if possible, have an opportunity to get completely off the grid and have a sovereign household. So, it's something that I'm real passionate about. And, for most homeowners, they can actually do this without putting any money down and simply just paying their new energy bill at a cheaper rate. So it's a lot of advantages to it. Some states are actually giving away money as well in these different states to have the work done. So people are getting electrical upgrades and new rules and all different types of stuff that's being worked out for homeowners to get these solar panels. The governments are mandating for people to have these solar panels on their homes because it takes the stress off the grid. Especially if you live in areas that have disaster areas, tornado areas, hurricane areas. Um, Florida, all near the coast, we have hurricanes a lot. California is crazy. Certain parts of Texas, these areas need that type of backup infrastructure. To keep their houses going if there's ever a disaster. And these solar panels do that. You can hook them up to a backup battery that could power your house for up to 2 weeks. And they're stackable. So, it's official. And so that's what I'm into with that. It's probably one of the best ventures that I've done. It definitely is. And now that allowed me to leave a 9 to 5 situation. I haven't worked a 9 to 5 in almost a decade now. So that allowed me to walk in that. Um, as a 1099 employee, running my own business essentially is um, a different lifestyle, and it causes a lot of self-reflection. It causes a lot of the self-determination um, and and focusing on your consistency. It's a test for any person to go through, man or woman, to run a business genuinely and live your life off of it. You know, so I'm proud to be a first generational business owner in my family. So that's where I see it.
I say, absolutely. Well, y'all need to stop discriminating and bring that down to Georgia because I was trying to jump on the wave too, but y'all don't like Georgia for whatever reason. We don't got enough disasters clearly for y'all to fuck with us. So you're saying,
I,
let me
I don't
know.
know. I think it comes down to the licensing. For the most part, that's what I've seen. Anytime, all right, we can't get into a certain district. It usually has to do with the town codes and the village, and what they will allow. Because there's some municipals in areas out here that we can't install. Even in New York. Not too far away, like about 7 minutes from here, we can't install in Freeport, New York. They have their own electric. You know,
Okay.
so it doesn't matter just like because it's in Georgia. I think it comes down to that town that township if they allow it.
Okay. Totally understand. All right. All right. I won't feel, slighted. Okay.
Yeah.
Now you use the word sovereignty. I want
Yeah.
you to define that
Um,
for
for
us.
me, this is not the Webster's dictionary definition of sovereignty, but um, sovereignty, starts off with your nationality, like knowing who you are first and foremost, to where you're exempt from America's stronghold. That's the first level of sovereignty that comes from a divine order. But then there's the level of sovereignty to where your possessions and the things that you acquire over the course of your life here on the planet that are essentially not ownable. So putting yourself in a space where you can now own these things and be self-sustaining is what sovereignty basically is in a nutshell. It's to where you don't have to rely on somebody to feed you. You don't have to rely on somebody to give you electricity and water. God forbid everything shuts down and you don't have your internet. You don't have flowing water through your pipes. Are you able to be able to sustain life? When there's no more water in the department stores, do you have a way to get water? They make laws against you being able to collect rainwater. There's a reason for that. That's so you don't be able to obtain sovereignty. Because if they can take your water from you, they have to have something that they can take from you. Uh, you know, netter forbid you don't want to deal with them anymore, and you want to raise your own, empire. So sovereignty is relinquishing yourself from that stronghold, but ultimately that comes with a price because there's always benefits, right, to being able to have that provided for you, right? So it all depends on your level of resources that you've created for yourself or your family has created for you that you have access to. Um, and for some of us, it just takes simply sacrifice and learning new skills. That's it. Learning new skills.
You said that's it, but you would think that people would understand that after what's been going on, saying since 2019. That is a mindset that I myself have been trying to push and I've been trying to create for myself as well. Because, with the pandemic and all of that jazz, what we got monkeypox coming now. I think he was doing a live earlier where he was talking about that. Like, we don't know what's going to happen in the future, but everyone is just seems to keep going with the status quo. Some disaster happens, and then everybody's in a panic, and then once we get used to it, we act like it never happened, and then we keep going in these cycles of, oh, it's a disaster, go back to normal. Oh, it's a disaster. So I asked you to define that because sovereignty for me, and especially for our people, is extremely important, and having that mindset. And a lot of us really don't get that. Like, because you had a baby in the pandemic, didn't
Darn sure did the day of.
you?
The day of.
How was that? How was that for you? And what I'm saying, tying that in with sovereignty, what I'm saying, with you having that mindset.
Yeah, I mean, it's a challenge. You're never ever like ready, or you think you are. When you're having a baby. As a father, and I'm a father of six, and it's always a challenge during that time. And to deal with what was going on with the pandemic at the same time, was mind blowing. Like literally, I left my son uh, from the ICU to go to see my queen, and maybe about 3 minutes that passed, I came back to check on him again. By the time I came back, it was a whole new set of staff, um, you know, there to greet me, and they were Asian, and they all had masks on their face now. Before it was just all different types of people, but particularly just Asian people. They had masks on their face, and they was asking me, have you been coughing or you feel like you got a headache? Anything, da, da, da. This is in the hospital when my son is in there, and I'm like, I just came through here, like what I mean. They're like, okay, you got to go all the way back around to the front of the building and go in and get checked, and they had to do the thermometer and all that. This is literally the day and the moment my son is just being born. So, you know, uh, dealing with that, immediately, you're on edge because, you got a little baby infant, you know what I'm saying? And, you have to deal with the air being poisoned. It's just like, it wasn't a fun time, but, you get
That,
through it, you get through it.
that,
And, you take the precautions. Everybody's in good health now, all praises due, and, there's no issues. So, those you gotta go through it to get through it. So that's the way I look at it, and I'm blessed. Like You know, I'm in such a good space right now. It's unreal. You know, so yeah,
That's what's up. Well, shout out to DJ with his cute self.
yeah,
Yeah,
DJ.
looking like,
That's
looking like Jennifer.
yeah, DJ and Judah is my left and right brain. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Then we got Jaleel too, the wild card. You know, they
yeah,
sound, you know, that sound like a ball team.
yes, it is. I miss y'all. I can't wait to get to New York to to rock with y'all. You
No doubt,
definitely got some dope kids.
no doubt. Thank you.
All right, so music. You are a dope MC, and I'm not just saying that because you my friend.
Appreciate you.
So let's talk about this music now.
Yes, indeed.
Very first album that I ever saw of yours was The Truman Show.
Oh shoot, I
Yeah, yeah. We gonna go through your catalog.
oh
We
shoot.
gonna go through the catalog. So that is the first album that I saw when I first like I said, when I came to the lighthouse, all that good stuff. I was looking for your stuff, got found you on Amazon and all that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I want you to go to the catalog. Well, Truman Show, where were you at then? How'd that start out? And you've been in hip hop for a minute, so let's talk about that.
The Truman Show was like my first uh entryway into like consciousness, thought process wise, that I was putting in music. You know, that I could say that I solely concentrated on that. Like that was intentional. You know, the Truman Show. I said, you know, I had an idea on how I was going to change the world, and I remember because I did a Snapchat that day, and this is when it clicked, and I was like, I'm about to create my own universe. I'm going to create my own culture based on this, and I was like, because this whole thing that I'm looking at right now is all fake. I was like, I'm about to take the resources that's around me, and I'm gonna change the world. Not that I was gonna affect a whole lot of people, but I was literally gonna change the world. Like where I am. It started there, like with a thought process. And then with me changing like my perspective and my world, I was able to change the physical world because like I said, it's an internal journey. It started inside. So the Truman Show was like representative of that. You know, that movie, you know, that Jim Carrey had put out. I wanted to bring some attention to that because it was almost identical to that kind of feeling. It's like you feel like you're in some sort of like fake ass, you know, prop or scene from a movie. Like this can't be real. Because then you start realizing, you know, and you know where it comes from, why you start feeling like that? Because when you first awaken, your power is so potent and you're able to manifest and do stuff on a whim. Like it's like when you see a superhero, you know, get his powers for the first time, he can't control it. You know what I'm saying? She can't control superpowers, so she be shooting it all over the place, boom, 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 breaking stuff, flying, boom, hurting it. It's
Right.
like that's what happens when you first awaken. So the Truman Show was like a cataclysmic explosion in my life, like in that time period. It was like me really breaking the chains of like the typical stuff that people rap about, you know what I'm saying, and put on record. You know, I was like, I'm about to flip this whole thing, like, cause ain't nobody talking about like no nothing real. Like everything that people talking about is like, I don't know. It's yeah, industry standard status quo. Like literally everybody's on the same thing. They feel they gotta mention the same thing. Blunts, 40s, and bitches. It's the same thing over and over and over. What are we doing? Every single record. Like, where's the variety? You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that none of the, you know, all that is just bad or anything like that. Like some of it is just trash, but you know what I'm saying? Like some of you know what I'm saying? Like some of it, like you can write through as a jingle, but you know what I'm saying? It's supposed to do that. But you know, there's an imbalance. There's an imbalance. That's all. It's just like stop giving us the same 10 songs over and over and over. Stop. Like, you know, because there's really good music out here. There's really good like and they're not talking about the same thing. Like, there's 44,000 songs being uploaded every day. Every day. How are we getting the same 10?
That's right.
Right? So, like, you gonna tell me it ain't rigged? Okay. Okay, don't tell me that's the number one song. Ain't no way in hell. Ain't no way. Ain't no way.
That's facts.
Stop playing with me.
That's a fact.
Yeah. Nobody want to hear the same nigga over and over. Like, I don't know nobody that want to hear the same nigga, even if they was on a deserted island. What? You want to hear the same nigga over and over?
I got an artist in my mind right now just thinking about that.
That's insane.
Pop Smoke. He sound, R.I.P., but he sounds exactly the same.
Rest in peace to Pop Smoke.
R.I.P.
Pop Smoke is nice. You know what I mean? And listen, it's the fact that you're playing the same person over and over. It doesn't matter who it is. You know what I'm saying? No matter who it is, if you're playing the same thing over and over, you know what that's like? That's like when you go into somebody's house and they put no batteries in the goddamn carbon monoxide detector and the smoke detector and shit. You see going beep.
Oh yeah, that's
beep.
That's a fact. That's fact.
Beep. Beep.
That's a fact.
Beep. Beep. Right? See, it was cool when I did it 2-3 times, but man, when I went to 6, you like, damn, this nigga bugging. You see what I'm saying? We got it. You see what I'm saying? Y'all feel me? That's what they doing with the music.
You're not lying. You are not lying.
Stop playing with me.
You are not lying.
You know what I mean? What is we doing out here?
Well, I appreciate, you know what I'm saying, you provided a solution to our problem.
We get it. He nice. It's mad niggas out here waiting, nigga.
Oh, man.
We get it.
Funny. Too funny.
That's a fact. I just hate his voice now. Word. Stop playing. That's my boy. Yo, niggas tell you what I be saying, right? Drake is the GOAT. I be telling niggas Drake is the GOAT. He's the GOAT. But bro, I still don't want to hear the nigga over and over and over. Nah. You know what I mean? Nobody.
Oh man, that's a fact.
Shoot.
That is definitely a fact. Now, what I will say now, since 2019, there's been a plethora of, I don't want to use the word conscious, you know what I'm saying? But it's been a more variety of positive music out there that still got that, that bump to it, but, speaking some good shit. So I guess we're progressing.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely gotten cool all of a sudden. I definitely all of a sudden. It's definitely gotten cool in many different creative ways. You feel me?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was hurting out there for a minute. But, I mean, I say that, it's made a vast recovery. I'll say as of lately.
Well, I personally, I give the credit to the pandemic. I feel like all of the emotions and all that was going on, it was like, it was the season for that, and everybody was trying to get into it. Because I don't,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, everybody on it now. Everybody your goddess, you know what I'm saying? Oh, what is it? Everybody's an affirmation now. You know what I'm saying? Go within in spirit. But got that Atlanta beat though, yeah.
There's a lot of ashes and and crystals.
Grand Rising. There are 4 songs right now with the name Grand Rising.
Everybody manifesting. All right. I mean, yeah, it's cool. I mean, that's kind of what we wanted. You know what I'm saying? But hopefully, it'll come from a more authentic space. You know what I mean? For most people, and it's not just a fad. That's all. That's all we could ask for.
That's all.
Be genuine in it, and don't be a culture vulture. Don't be a culture vulture. You know what I'm saying?
They gonna do it, honey. They gonna do it. They can't help it. Just like when locked up, we woke now. The pandemic prison woke trending and shit. But yeah, we wanted it however we get them. I can dig it.
Thanks.
I can definitely dig it. All right, so that was the Truman Show. Then it was the Nine album, right?
Nah, yeah.
Yeah, all right, the Nine album. So my favorite number. Tell us about that. That's the next progression.
9. Man. Um 9 I really got in my bag. You know what I'm saying? 9 when I was creating that, uh I kind of had an idea from beginning to end of how I wanted it to look and feel. And I knew that lyrically I was moving into a space um that not too many people who hadn't studied it for the amount of time that I was studying it for was going to be able to pull off. So it was a lot of uh, new flows that I was bringing to the table that I felt like it was a dying breed of people that can pull that type of thing off. So 9, I was tapping into all sorts of stuff. I mixed it in a certain frequency to the frequency of healing, um, and I did some things, I should say, esoterically that um, had never been done before. Um, I also, made sure that the divine numbers was orchestrated throughout the project by having 9 tracks on it. Um, it was yeah, each track was 3 minutes long on average. Like, it ended on like 30 minutes. Um, yeah, I gave them the 3, 6, and the 9. Like I just that was a project and I bodied it. You know, it was one of those where I knew exactly what I wanted to do. So that was special because I was like, this is gonna like really um project the Kemetic legacy like far. You know, it's really gonna stamp like, yo, we here. I was just really locking in my African's spiritual consciousness, and embracing it 150%, you know. So that album for me, that's my baby. That was the takeoff right there, you know. That was Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi.
Or
I could agree. I could definitely agree. Definitely a dope album. Definitely bump it to this day. To this day, I'm gonna get me that little machine thing that you do. I'm gonna get that. To this day, that's what
to
I
this
want to
day,
say. That's what I
To
want
this
to do right now. Yeah, that's what I want to do right now.
To this day.
I definitely got to get that. You're mad funny. Absolutely. All right. So you got the 9. Then you took a little break, took a couple of years off, and then you got As Above, So Below, your double LP.
yeah.
Ultimate Fire. Let's talk about that. How did that come about? 2 albums. What was that all about?
I was sitting on that project for about 3 years, and that whole project started off with the Yami record. Um, Once I did that record, I said, I love this song so much. I said, if I can create anything close to something like this and keep doing it over and over, this is something I can listen to, for the rest of my life. I really loved that Yami record because it was so authentic. I was in my pocket, you know what I'm saying? And I was alone and I was just like zone, you know what I'm saying? Really felt it, feeling the music and feeling like that hip hop energy that was just like authentic to me and my flow. And it was one of the rarest moments for me writing, because I was literally like doing it, out loud. I didn't write that down. Like I was doing it out loud and just saying it out loud, in the studio by myself. And just kept saying it over and over. So I was taking into account my breath control and everything, you know. So it was probably one of my most masterful songs that I put together. And I knew it at that moment when it was done. And I was like, I want to do something geared around this record right here. I knew that when I was going to perform it, I wrote it that way so that when I performed it, I sound exactly the way I was going to sound on the record, you know, because I hated when I used to hear my favorite artist and he sound different than when he
Mhm.
recorded it. That
Mhm.
used to drive me nuts. I just wanted him to do it exactly the way he did it on the record. I was one of those. Some people don't mind it, but I do. So
I
I
feel you.
I wanted to sound the same. So I said, I'm gonna write it like that. Like I'm gonna take into account. You know what I'm saying? My enemies frustrated because I won't engage. I expose slaves. They ain't fucking with the culture wave. Till I'm old and gray, I gave myself my time, the breath, and everything. Till I'm old and gray, on the vocal A, you know, in the streets or internet like an open J. Young kid, I really was in tune with my breath work. You know, how I naturally would have said it if I was talking to somebody, you know what I mean? But it just so happened to be on beat and have some double and triple entendres and be on rhythm. And you know, that's what I try to put in all my records. You know what I mean? I try to put all those elements in there. And if you take the record and you was to chop up my bars, it would create artwork. If you color coded my bars, it would create a work of art, symmetrical. I'm different.
Like you, pimping.
I'm different.
What was that in the background? Who was it?
Different.
Now,
To this day. To this day.
as a creative, you know what I'm saying, I can absolutely, you know what I'm saying, resonate with that. I always told you when I first heard Yamin, I didn't know that you had the album out and all that. That was one of my favorite songs. One of the first songs that I heard after the Truman Show. That's my shit. When I drive my car, when I
Give
put that
thanks.
on camera and I put on social media, that is the song that I'm going to be listening to when I drive my first car.
Give thanks.
The whole vibes, everything you just described, I felt, and that's why I love it so much. So I know people might feel so because you're my friend, but I went to LaGuardia High School. I was a vocal major, so I was around talented people. You know what I'm saying? My whole high school, all through my high school. So I'm no talent when I see it. I don't care who you are. You know what I'm
Give
saying?
thanks.
If you suck, you suck. Period. If you ain't got it, you ain't got it. I can love you, like all that shit, but if you ain't got it, you ain't got it. And bro, you got it. So that's why I fucks with your
Appreciate
music.
you.
Now, because thank yourself, because you dope. You know what I mean? Anybody know me? You know what I'm saying? I'm in the winning. Y'all been around me when I listen to
She
my shit. You
gassing
got
it.
it. But you gotta, you know what I'm saying, true talent.
Nah, I appreciate you.
And I can absolutely contest to that. It's very rare for me to like albums anymore. You know what I'm saying? I do singles and all that stuff, but it's very rare where I can find a body of work that I can just go through all the time. And I ain't a gangster. You know what I'm saying? Some of that hip hop stuff y'all be into, I really don't. I can't relate to. You know what I'm saying? But
I'm not a gangster.
not saying you're a gangster, but it's a hood thing. I don't know what the proper word of what I'm saying to use, but
I
you
seen
know,
some things.
you see, so I can dig it. So some of those things I didn't see, so I might not have that vision. I'll say that, but I feel you, and I feel you in all of it, and I can appreciate that
Appreciate you.
from for a
Appreciate you.
creative and someone who loves music. I really appreciate that. So we got one more project to talk about that came out of nowhere.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Tell us that story, full circle.
Man, full circle. That was just a divine blessing from the ether because I was involved in a house fire some time ago, many years ago. Um, Probably been about a decade now. But during that time, I had an album that was already done, and we had CDs, we had the album cover printed up, whole 9 yards, and I was getting ready to distribute it through the hood, like I was getting ready to pop. You know how you when you got that feeling like this the one. So that album was like supposed to be my introductory album. I was on some street shit though. But in any case, I was like, that was when my name was Rennie Ruger. I was young, and the house fire burned up everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't had that much. But I was broke as hell. Like, you know what I'm saying? I had invested all my money in them CDs. I think it was like I had maybe like $700 at the time. And I took that money and I invested it in getting my CDs printed up. All them shits burned up in the fire. My man's equipment that he had lended me burned up in the fire, all my clothes, everything. Like, I lost everything. I just watched my joint go up. And you know, I didn't have the album. You know, the computer was gone. So then a friend of mine years later, he was telling me, he told me maybe about 7 years later that he think he might have a copy of my album because I remember I used to give him like the songs after I was done, like to have him check it out. You know what I'm saying? I vaguely remembered it because it was like years later. It was just routine for me. I would just email him. He was on like the email chain. So, you know what I'm saying? And then one day he was one of those guys that he was like a nomad. He was around a lot during that time. But then at some point he got settled in and he went through the hard drive and was able to recover a lot of the stuff. And it was the album. He had it and he gave it back to me. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, man, uh, I almost passed out. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, that was the most painful thing that I had lost in that fire. You know what I'm saying? Was my songs. That's all I really cared about in it. I didn't really have much. You know what I'm saying? Clothes is cool. You could get that back, but those records, those moments, you'll never be able to bring back that time. Like every time you make a record, that's a stamp. Like it's a stamp in time, and it takes you. Anytime you hear a song, it takes you back to that moment. So that's why sometimes when I lay songs, I don't even want to touch it when I do it, and I know I like it. I don't like trying to fix something that ain't broke because I captured a moment. When I did it, it was that energy and how I did it at that moment, at that time. There's a bit of um, uh, emotional attachment to it. You know what I'm saying? There's a
You're an artist. You sensitive about your shit.
sensitive about my shit.
Absolutely. So you understand. Well, that is an amazing story. Everything is divine because yeah, that's crazy that years later, about 10 years, and then you got the album out, and right after you drop, what I'm saying, the double LP.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's crazy. So as a music artist, all these years you've been doing this, how do you feel about where you are now and where you're going?
Um, I feel now the energy is so high. Um, all I see is great things. You know, uh, my career has done nothing but grown since I started. You know, um, even when I took a break, I came back to more followers. My energy, I feel, is one of the most authentic that's out there, and that's what separates me. Um, it's it's tuned and it's tweaked. It's been mastered, and I'm just in my bag right now. You know, and I feel like I could hang with the best of them in terms of being able to make records. You know, dope playable records that you can bring back, and you might even learn something. You know, so I think I got something for everybody. Like, today somebody posted natural and it was him and his girl. It looked like they was just like laid up having a Netflix night, just chilling. You know what I'm saying? I got records, people send me all the time. You got the regulars, the Yamins and the market caps that they love, but I got records like Black and Proud and, stuff like that help people to get through movements and periods of time. I'm like, you know, I enjoy being the theme music to people's lives. You know, I like connecting to people in that way. I don't care who they are. You know, I just want to connect with people when it comes to music because I feel like that's the one thing that binds us all. You know, in some shape, form, or fashion is how you put together those frequencies and vibrations. You know, so a lot of my stuff is, you know, it's tweaked in that way. It's tweaked to that it forces you to grow and create new synapses in your brain. you know, not the norm. So I try to do that in every record. Sometimes it's just a vibe. Sometimes it's just a vibe. You know, I listen to all type of music. You know, like
Same. Me too.
you know,
Me too.
if I
Energy.
play what my playlist sound like, y'all be confused. I wouldn't even be able. I can't do it. I got so much type of stuff I be listening to. Y'all would be confused. Like, who is this nigga?
I went to a performing arts high school. There is nothing that you can show me that I would do. We learned classical music. You know what I'm saying, and all
Yeah,
that. So trust me,
I
I always.
come. I come from a generation of producers, like of people who fish for samples. So we'll listen weirdest shit and hear something that nobody heard. And by the time we chop it up, you'll be like, what? Play that the original back? Like
No,
you heard that from that? Like,
right.
bro, like you know what I'm saying?
That's what you got
Like,
out of that? Like, word?
yeah, but here's the thing: the original, we can hear it while the original is playing. The average person can't hear that.
Period.
They just hear what's being played. We hear what it has the potential to be.
Absolutely.
That's
That's
what
what I call
musicians do.
that's
Yeah,
what
we
that's
always listen to
what
something and try to figure out how we gonna flip it. That's hip hop. We trying to flip it. We don't, you know what I mean? The original, even if it could have came out yesterday, all right, we got remixed it. Yo, let me hop on that remix, bro. Like, you know what I mean, let me get on that.
That's a fact. That is definitely a fact. Yeah, growing up, that was definitely remixing. Yeah, definitely.
Remember the remix?
Oh man,
My man Puff had that shit down pat.
he did.
This
Yeah,
is
gotta give it
the
to him.
remix.
Definitely capitalized all over that, and he did a good job. He did a great job.
I think the only one that was fucking with him was Jermaine Dupri.
Facts.
That was
That's a
it.
fact. That's a fact.
Remix, those those was the two netters.
They were.
Those was the ones you had to see
That's a fact. That's a
straight
fact.
up if you tried to do something.
And Jermaine Dupri still trying a little bit, throwing a little stuff out there. He has some song he just did with somebody that was definitely a sample.
Do not sleep or brother Jermaine and and, and his hit record. You see, he ain't got no verses yet.
That's interesting. Now,
Huh?
why is that? Because ain't nobody compete. Is that what that
No
is?
one, nobody, no, nobody want that kind of smoke. Nobody, nobody. Did Buster get one yet?
Busta Rhymes,
Yeah.
yeah. And no, wasn't Busta Rhymes it was an argument about, I think T.I. was trying to, people was trying to put them two together, and T.I. was like,
Did
nah,
Buster do a
you too
versus?
old or something like that. He
Did
kind of
Buster do a versus? No, he did not. Though nobody want that kind of smoke.
I
Huh?
can dig it.
Did Eminem do verses?
I can dig it. He called out T.I. and T.I. was like, no. Yeah, he was that was a hard no.
White smoke is bad for your lungs. You don't want that kind of smoke. That nigga, that boy, he's not to be played with.
I know. My favorite rapper since, you know what I'm saying, since high school. Love Busta Rhymes. Yes.
Every rapper will tell you they don't want to battle Eminem. They all tell you that. All the ones that actually mean something.
I remember you doing a
Yeah,
live
those
about that,
individuals.
talking about Eminem, and I forgot what it was about. Somebody had something to say about Eminem, and you was trying to let them know, like, yeah, nah, M's the business.
Nah, he
Right or
different. I know
not,
people
M
was hating on him because he was white, but nah,
yeah.
he passed all the tests with flying colors and then some, and took every single part of that genre of rapping to another level. Whether it be freestyling, whether it be battle rapping, whether it be make records, whether it be features, whether like, he destroyed it. Content, the stuff he's talking about, substance, like
humor
man,
he threw into that shit.
yeah,
Yep, that's facts.
he wasn't trying to be black neither. Nope. I'm not even
Nope.
trying to hear that. He was genuinely who he was. The type of stuff that he was rapping wasn't nobody rapping like that. Wasn't nobody doing that. Stop it, Five. Wasn't
That's a
nobody
fact.
doing that.
Hi,
Nope.
my name is who? My name is Thick Shit
Nope.
Shady.
He was mentioning
Definitely.
mad people names in his songs, but making it like a spoof, like you know what I'm saying, to where you just had to like laugh at that shit. It was crazy, but it was funny as hell.
It was. Yes, it was. Definitely. Okay, so that's in music. So what's coming up next? You know what I'm saying, in the near future for Jamar Milton.
We about to hit the streets, about to do some more shows. Um, get the people what they want to see. Um, more videos. We're about to finish up this book and get that out. Um, a couple of
Talk about that. You're an
yeah,
author now. Yeah, talk about that.
not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
You know, I learned little on in life about like the music and how it leaves my stamp. Here when I'm here. I recognize the power in that.
Mhm.
So that was one facet of mine. Something that I could leave behind for my children and for the people that love me and know me. And I felt like the book was another one. My grandmother was an author, and I admired her a lot. And as and now that she's no longer here, Sally Mae Jackson, as an ancestor, you know, I've grown even more to respect the what she has done uh, as an author, and it was really just to honor her at first in my mind, as a tribute, because you never know one like when you lose a loved one, you want to tribute them somehow, some way, you know, and something that's sustaining, and ultimately that's what this book was about, and is serving the people the best that I can and making it an easy read and something that is ultimately like a guide, you know, a system, of growth. Because I look back at my life and I say, okay, what things can I offer to somebody that I know that I was able to do? And what that was for me was grow, you know. I never was stagnant in life. No matter what, even with setbacks, I continued to grow, never stopped. So I felt like I could create a book that could hopefully help somebody to understand the different changes that I had to make and my thought process of why those changes need to be made and how I did it systematically and step by step for different things that we deal with. You know, we deal with a lot of different emotions, and if you're conscious of them, right, they can sometimes overlap and the lines can be blurred. So we have to compartmentalize them, right, in order to understand them better. Just like the body parts, right, how they connect with one another. Sometimes the pain that you think that you're having is coming from someplace else, right? You feel a sharp pain down your leg, it could be your spine.
Mhm.
You know, if you want to cleanse the mind, you have to cleanse the gut first. It's the gut that needs to be cleansed, not the mind. You don't give the mind the medicine. You give the gut the medicine, and that will cleanse the mind. So it's just creating a system, and uh, that piece I think is going to help a lot of people. The divine nine.
Fine 9. Well, I cannot wait to purchase mine. Just let me know when.
I appreciate you.
I cannot wait to get that. All right, so and we have been going on long and strong, so I don't want to keep you all night. I know you're busy and whatnot, but please let us also know. Like I interrupted you earlier about what you got coming up next, and tell them a little bit about our collaboration coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. We got the Roku popping off. You know what I'm saying? On Plum Queen Station, we about to do it live and direct. You know what I'm saying? So, definitely tune in for that. When I start doing lectures again, which will be happening really, really shortly, sooner than later. Um, we're gonna start jumping off over there too. So simultaneously. So it's gonna be official, and you'll be able to find us on Roku. So get your Roku's up, you know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all go out and purchase yours like right now, so you could be ready and know how to work it when it's time. So y'all not looking goofy when you launch it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's on one accord. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. The congregation say Ashe.
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 Asheo.
Ashe. Yes. So
well, I'm excited. I cannot wait, you know what I'm saying, for y'all to get, like I said earlier, all this Jamarness, you know what I'm saying, on AMPspire Network.
I'm about to put that on a shirt. Stop playing with me.
Whole facts. Well, brother, I truly appreciate you coming on here, giving me your time and your energy. As you progress, we're going to have you back up on here and continue to tell folks what you got going on. I love, love, love you. Tell them where to find you.
You can find me on Facebook, Jamaar A. Milton or Jamaar Milton. It'll lead you to both my pages. Also, definitely tune into my Instagram at Jamaar JAMAAR. Or you can find me on YouTube at Jamaar Milton JAMAARMILTON. Definitely tune into the YouTube if you want to see the music videos and all the stuff that we've been doing. A lot of my lectures is on the YouTube, and they're titled, so you can scroll down and find something that you like, and definitely watch all the music videos and stuff like that, so y'all can hear the music. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate everybody that support. I appreciate the Lighthouse and Plum Queen for having me on. It's been a blast. You know what I'm saying? A lot of dope moments. You know what I'm saying? It's been a marvelous ride up and down and ins and outs of the Jamarness experience. I appreciate everybody in the feed. Carol Hunter, I see you, and Pascal Earl, Facebook user.
Yeah, if you want, as a matter of fact, they have a disclaimer. If you go to StreamYard on Facebook, and I believe if you like them, that allows your name to pop up on the feed. That's what they say. You know what I'm saying? A little disclaimer in the video. So if you want your name to show up, either go on YouTube or go to StreamYard/Facebook. So you can, I think, like their page and they'll allow you to show up and show out so we can, know who we're talking to. All right. All right. Now, I don't know if you can still hear me, Jamaar, because you got a nice little screenshot thing going on here. Nice smile, all that. I don't know if you can still hear me.
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Okay. Your thing is paused. You can hear me, but your video is still smiling at me. All right. Switching it up.
Let me see.
Too hot for, I'm about to say, too hot for the camera now. Your energy too popping. You normally break the internet. That's normally your, you know what I'm saying, your MO.
I might have to go out and come back in.
All right, that's cool. Well, yeah, we'll do that. I'll end it up and we're going to chop it up before I truly let you go because I'm going to talk to you about some stuff. All right. So that was dope. My brother, Jamaar A. Milton, like you said, go on YouTube, Jamaar Milton, IG, Jamaar, Facebook, Jamaar A. Milton. Everything he got going on is dope. Like I said, I appreciate him and the Lighthouse. A lot of the things that I have going on, most of the things that I have going on is because, you know what I'm saying, I'm a part of this organization and I'm a part of that family. And it's been an amazing ride, like he said. So I really appreciate him, appreciate the family. And we're going to keep going to the top, Lighthouse and all that good stuff. But of course, guys, like he said, go to AMPspire Media Network on Roku. If you don't have it, get it now. I think the cheapest one I saw was $24.99. Ain't gonna cost you too much to get all this inspiration, okay? You know, we got the merch popping. We got t-shirts, leggings, sportswear, sneakers, everything you could think about. So go to beamspiredapparel.myshopify.com. All of those links going to be in the feed after we cut off. Get inspired. Get your power on. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We embody our mission, you know what I'm saying, to help people get through adversity and to thrive. You don't just want to get over stuff. You want to thrive. All right. Make sure you check out all of our other podcasts and all of our exclusive content that's on AMPspire Media. And I think that's all I got for y'all. So I love y'all. Appreciate your time and energy. And we'll see y'all next time. Peace.